What's up, you guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night for an exciting day. I have been talking about this for weeks, and it has finally happened. So, before we get into this, if you're not following and subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button there. That really helps with the getting the word out about the show, and the notification bell so you can follow along with everything I've got coming up. Anyway, if you've been following the show, let me see if I can set this camera up a little better. Is that better? If you've been following along on the show, I've been talking for, I don't know, a month about a nice big fat Arrow video order that I made with MVD. So I don't know what happened with that, but they supposedly sent it. I don't think they did, to be honest with you. I think something happened. They didn't send it, and they blamed it on the post office, whatever. I don't buy it. But anyway, they finally resent it, and it has finally, over a month later, finally arrived. Right here it is, baby. The Arrow video pickup haul video is finally upon us. I am so excited. I know what I'm doing the rest of this weekend. Let's let me get a little still shot there. Okay, for the thumbnail. I got a lot of things here. I'm really excited to crack into this box. I've already cut the tape, but I have not been inside it. You and I are going in together. Just crack it open here and let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at all of these. Oh. Okay, here's the first thing. This is Alice, Sweet Alice. I am excited about this because I'm going to tell you, I didn't expect to get the slipcover. This was not anticipated that I was going to get the slipcover. I got a great deal on this. Alice, Sweet Alice, it has Brooke Shields in it, one of her very early roles. I don't know if you know her from The Blue Lagoon or whatever, but she was in this horror film. Very nice special edition put out by Arrow Video. We may have to take the cellophane off this at the end of this. Let's just go through all the movies first. Next up on the list, this is a blind buy. I've never seen this movie, Society. I know there's a steelbook out there, but I don't know. I just didn't care. When it comes to Arrow Video, I want their special editions, the limited editions, or just these standard clear cases. I don't really like the steelbooks as much. I have the RoboCop one because that was the option I had. But like on the shelf, I like to keep them all together, all the Arrow stuff together. And if it's a steelbook, I'm inclined to put it in the steelbook section. And I know that's an OCD thing and a weirdo thing, whatever. But anyway, I have not seen this movie. Cracking this open, it will be my first experience. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments what I'm getting into without being spoilery. I don't know very much anything except I've heard it's batshit crazy. So for the price that I got it for, I thought let's give it a go. All right, these are our upgrades. This is another segment of let's replace things that were stolen from Steven's collection. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check previous videos. I go into the whole story of what happened with my collection and all that. But anyway, I had this one, but I'm sorry. Cat hairs all on my face. I had this one before, but it was a subpar Blu-ray compared to this one, Hellraiser. Now, I know that Arrow Video put out a very cool box set of these films, but wow, it's expensive. And I got a great deal on this movie. Alright, what do we got now? This is another blind buy. This is Deadbeat by Dawn. This was actually showing at my local art house theater, and I was excited to... I didn't get to see it, so I was excited to be able to buy this copy and see it. Again, let me know in the comments. If you've seen this film, let me know what I'm getting into. I mean, some of these deals were unbelievable. Pretty much all of these films were under $20, which is unheard of for Arrow Video. So I felt I could afford some blind buys. Eaten Alive. This again is an upgrade. I had this on DVD actually, and it was stolen from my set. But this is a major upgrade. I'm getting it in HD finally. This is a classic horror film. This feels very heavy. I guess there's a nice book in here. Maybe we'll open that at the end also. Next up, the Dead or Alive trilogy. Takeshi Miike is one of my favorite filmmakers from the early 2000s. I think every generation has this particular place go-to spot for innovative horror, and the Japanese horror scene in the late 90s and early 2000s was just unbeatable. Now, this isn't horror. This is Miike, some of Miike's Yakuza films. But even his Yakuza films, when he was kind of given some leeway, diverted into other genres. I don't want to say too much because you need to see these films, especially the first one. This was also an upgrade. Now, these were not stolen from me. I sold my DVDs. I had a DVD box set. I sold them because I knew this set was available from Arrow Video, and I wanted to get them in HD. Next up, Rage of Honor. This is an 80s action film. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of expectation about the quality of the film. The main reason I bought this is because it features Takeshi Miike. It features Sho Kosugi, one of my favorite action stars from the 80s. I believe Revenge of the Ninja was, for me, the first superhero film that I ever saw. And that movie I have from Kino. But he also did a movie called Pray for Death, which was put out by Arrow Video. And I like that one as well. It's really good too. And it has a very lengthy interview with Kosugi on it that sort of just stops and is to be continued. There's more of that interview, and it is here on this. So even if I don't like this film, I'm happy to have it to get the rest of that interview. That's kind of a retrospective talk of Kosugi's career. All right, next up is FM. This is one of the few films, this one and Rage of Honor, that aren't horror films that I bought. FM is a great old school film. It is sort of a dramedy about the early days of FM radio, and sort of when FM started, it was kind of like a free-for-all as far as what you could get away with on radio. And this is a film about some of the early DJs that kind of made radio happen. I started my career in media in radio, so I have a soft spot. I remember that film on repeat on like old HBO when I was a little kid. So, all right, next up, The Initiation. This is a slasher film, really cool genre film from the 80s. I haven't seen it in a long time. I have seen it. It's been a very long time. Very excited to have this film. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments. If you've seen any of these, please comment. Let me know what you thought of the films. Let's talk about them, because there's a few of these that are just cold buys. Okay, haven't seen this one in many years, since I was a little kid. Dead End Drive-In. Now, Dead End Drive-In is is a kind of what I would call a common title for Arrow Video. You see it on the used market all the time, but I believe I gave something like $12 for this, which is a great price for an Arrow Video film. So, I mean, it's more expensive on the used market than that. And the last film that I got in my set is Hellbound, Hellraiser Part 2. The first two Hellraiser films are really the only two that matter in that franchise, to be honest with you. So, happy to have those. So that's my pickups. Check it out, guys. Look at all of this Arrow beautifulness. Right, oop, touch the mic there. I really want to see what's happening inside this Alice, Sweet Alice, because honestly, I figured it would be, when I got it, it would be like this. This is the way I see it for sale. So I'm a little shocked to see, but this doesn't look like the LE versions of the film that I thought would be out there. I don't have anything to open this back here. I didn't bring a knife or anything because I tore into I can't freaking get it. Alright, that got it with no damage. Let's get this baby open here and see what's what. So, has anybody else bought this? How did it come? Did you not? I thought this was in a limited edition, like one of the big ones, kind of like the Hills Have Eyes set. So, plastic. All right, so there it is. This packaging is like the One Miss Call trilogy. slip it out. You know, I always say this, if you're going to do a slipcover, then do some different art on the slipcover versus the inside. But it's exactly the same. Okay, so there's the inside. And I'm sure you've seen this because this movie's been out for a while, but we'll just go through it together. Oops, sorry, I keep bumping the mic there. There's some reversible artwork there. And we do get, what do we have here? This is promotional material, which I like to keep always. Oh, all right, and we do get the poster, which I'm not going to unfold right now. I have to decide what to do with that later. And we get the book. Let's see. Okay, this is so much better, a much better set for this film than I anticipated. Brooke Shields there, very young Brooke Shields. And then now that everything is out, you can see the inside much better. So I must have been mistaken. I thought they did an LE box, you know, one of the Hills Have Eyes style boxes. Correct me in the comments if you know, because I just assumed that that's what it was going to be. But again, this is like the One Missed Call set, and it's I'm great with that because it's much cooler. I figured it was just going to come like this, and that would have been okay because I got it for a great price. I got it under $20, and this thing is the cheapest I've seen it in the nice set. Like on Macari is like $25, so I did much better than that for brand new. So there you go. Let's see, was there something else? There was a couple of other things I wanted to open here. A lot of these are just, you know, what you would anticipate. This one felt really heavy, this Dead or Alive one. I want to see if there is a booklet inside. I mean, not Dead or Alive, Eaten Alive. I don't think it's not Arrow, but someone is putting out a Dead or Alive, like a new edition of it. That guy has been out of print for a very long time, so it'll be great to be able to get that thing affordable. I had it, you know, and it was one of those things. That one actually wasn't stolen from me for my set. That one I think I traded or something, and because I just figured I would get it again later, and then of course it went out of print. So I've learned since then to be very careful with that. Now, I want to say one thing about things that are out of print and that kind of thing. I've seen people on Macari buying things because they're out of print. Don't invest in media. It's not an investable thing because one thing, it's either going to go away, okay? People are just going to stop, which will keep it kind of collectible, or what has happened to this point is there will be a new format. You know, I've got a Dawn of the Dead set that is highly collectible right now, but there's a 4K coming out this summer that's going to just crush that value. So it's not something that holds its value for a very long time because we get new media. And I think Blu-ray and 4K is going to go away, but I think it's going to come back around in some new format, not just streaming. All right, so let's open this guy up. So what we have here is a 2-disc set. Very cool. I didn't even remember that. I just liked the movie and wanted to own it. So I don't even know what to expect in this 2-disc set, to be honest with you. I had no clue. But I'm going to take one of these discs out so we can get a quick look, so I don't have to pull it out at the original art. This is the artwork that I'm most familiar with. That's the old 90s, you know, in the 90s video store artwork that you would see. Very, very cool, you guys. So what did you think of my pickups? Let me know in the comments if you've seen any of these films, please. Especially if you've seen Society, because this is a cold buy. Never seen this movie. Don't really know anything about it other than I keep hearing about this Arrow set, that the movie is batshit crazy and that I need to see it. That's all I know. So if you've seen it, you own it, tell me what I'm getting into. I may have to crack into this thing tonight to see what's what with it. It literally was a cold buy. I feel like very few of these super popular Arrow titles are sort of a bad investment. And like I said, it's not a thing that I would invest in for the future. But if I hated the movie, I could probably, since I got it so cheap, make my money back on the used market. So what we have inside here, inside the Society set, we've got a piece of advertising there. And this also is a 2-disc set. There. So I'm going to Just sort of take one of these discs out. Thank God these hinges aren't destroyed, because it does happen in mail sometimes. So you can see the original art, which I think is what's on the cover of the Steelbook. Again, very, very excited. Know nothing about this film. That'll about do it. That'll bring this baby to an end. This has been a really great pickup week for me. I hope it has for you too. Just a quick recap. I'll show you, since it's all still kind of sitting here, what my week has been like pickup-wise. So, this, finally, after all the waiting, this is my Arrow Video pickups right there. Then we've got the Tom Cruise 4K triple set, which I showed in a video yesterday. If you want to see those, please check out that video that was sent to me by Paramount. And finally, I showed this pickup video the other day. You can get more into those. The Hills Have Eyes and the Funhouse Massacre there. So quite the pile of stuff here piling up behind me. I'm excited. I've got so many cool things to watch. And as you know, my show is a buy it, watch it situation. These will all get watched within the next week. 2 weeks max. I'm going to start looking at something every day. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of my pickups. Let me know if you've seen any of these films. And let's talk about some physical media. Until next we talk, pull something cool off of your shelf. Show it to your friends and family and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you next time.